right back. Tanner Anderson drops in the jumper. So Paxton wins this one 54-52. They'll face the winner of the Falls City Sacred Heart Irish and Shelby.
Games now finals. Paxton has knocked out Bancroft Rosalie by 2. So it will be Paxton and Falls City Sacred.
The Nebraska Abstinence Coalition, NC Plus Hybrids, and Southeast Community College.
Three games are in the books. 3 trophies have been given out. Now we're getting set to give away a 4th. In the state D1 state championship game getting set to tip off. I'm Scott Kilbury, joined with play-by-play announcer John Bishop. Now, John, hopefully this can live up to its billing this game. We have a couple of powerhouses on our hands.
Yes, we do. We've got a team in Paxton that's won a state championship recently, all the way back in back in 1995. The Fall City Sacred Heart, at one time the most dominant program in Class D1. They won 4 straight titles back in the late 80s and early 90s. They haven't been here since that last championship in 91, but they're back here again, and a chance for a rare girls and boys state title for Sacred Heart. Let's meet the 2 teams now, and our PA address announcer is Rich Broderson.
Now for tonight's Class D1 championship game between the 25-1 Fall City Sacred Heart Irish and the 22-2 Paxton Vikings. Here are the lineups. First, the outsiders for Fall City Sacred Heart. Number 3, Ron Cap. Number 11, A.J. Ahern. Number 21, Jim Beckers. Number 23, Tony Santo. Number 30, Anthony Weaver. Number 35, Dan Simon. And number 25, Nick Sikora. And now the non-starters for Paxton. Number 10, Josh Perlinger. Number 11, Dan Hoover. Number 22, Jeff Heinrich. Number 23, Josh Worley. Number 30, Andy Elder. Number 32, Justin Vasquez. And number 24, Mike Vaughn. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starters for Fall City Sacred Heart. In 6'1" junior, number 10, Josh Ross. In 5'1" senior, number 12, Adam Santo. In 6' senior, number 14, Brian Lebron. In 6'2" junior, number 24, Nate O'Grady. And in 6'2" senior, number 34, Tom Kennedy. The assistant coaches for the Irish are Matt Cumrow and Mark Tucker, and the head coach of Fall City Sacred Heart is Doug Schultz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starters for Paxton. In 6'1" junior, number 3, Tanner Anderson. In 6'3" sophomore, 00, Kim Brad. In 5'10" junior, number 20, Shane Hansmeyer. In 6'30" senior, number 33, Robbie Riddle. And in 6'2" senior, number 22, Jacob Sturgeon. The assistant coach for the Tigers is Dave Perlinger, and the head coach for Paxton is Jody Rhodes. The officials for today's Class D1 Championship game are Terry Donahue and Lonnie Griffiths. The bench official is Terry Schott.
Might have caught a little glimpse of those small Paxton cheerleaders. I noticed last week when Omaha North and their girls were introduced, their big cheerleaders, regular cheerleaders, would come out and do cartwheels. Well, these little Paxton girls were doing the same thing. They would come out and do cartwheels as every player was introduced for Paxton. And I noticed after all the reserves were introduced, these poor little girls were just breathing very heavily. I don't think they were used to doing that many flips. We're underway.
Very well
Paxton and Sacred Heart. This could be the most colorful game we've had yet. If you have color TV, please adjust your sets accordingly. Paxton in gold or yellow, trimmed with the blue numerals in white. And Sacred Heart, green and white. Down low, layup no, tap tried, yes.
Nice tip.
Riley Treidel with the tip in, and we're underway. Paxton and Sacred Heart, two of the top teams in Class D1. This is a state championship game that's gone according to the script. Everything else we've seen today has always been that added bonus of someone that you didn't expect to see here. Nice cut inside. Layup is good by Josh Rod.
A nice pass by Adam Santo, too, to create that.
2-2 our score. D1 state championship game. And we've got contact and a foul. Paxton comes into this game at 22-2. They were the number 3 seed coming in. They had to beat Chambers and Bancroft Rosalie to do it. And they did it by combining wide open underneath. Beautiful recognition by Spurgeon, and Tim Crabb looped around and picked it up for the easy deuce.
Can't allow that to happen out the inbounds pass.
Santo outside Lemerond. They move it around the perimeter. Baseline off the glass. In and out. And a foul is coming up on Matt Hilliard. Or excuse me. We get it right here. It's foul on Sacred Heart. We'll get caught up here in a moment. 4-2. Paxton on top. A look. Shot. Score. Tim Crabb. Consecutive possessions. Ball poked out of there. Saved by Sacred Heart. Santo into the forward zone. Around they go. Lemerond. Nate O'Grady. Knocked out last touch by Paxton. I want to welcome those of you joining us all across the state on Nebraska ETV. I'm John Bishop. Alongside is Scott Kilbury, sports director for KOLN, KGIN TV, 1011 in Grand Island. Layup in the lane is good. The basket counts. And O'Grady goes to the line for one more.
It was a tough shot by O'Grady. A leaning layup and a possibility for another one.
O'Grady to make it a one-point game. Off the mark. Back the other way, Paxton. Crabb had to do a pirouette just to catch that pass. And now Tanner Anderson will bring it back. Anderson, whose layup with 6 seconds left, beat Bancroft Rosalie in the state semifinals. And there's Anderson hitting from the outside.
Anderson.
8-4 in favor of Paxton. Into the front court, Santo. Far side, Lemerond. He wants to drive baseline. Tries to kick it back out for Rod. Paxton was there to cover it.
Pretty good half-court offenses showed by both teams so far.
Up top it goes to Santo. He'll work against the double team. They'll move it around. And play catch with it between the perimeter. Out outside. Three is open. It's taken. It's no good. Ball tipped out of there and saved. Nice play by Todd Kanabe to keep it alive for the Irish. Baseline jumper, no. Rebound Paxton. Anderson wants to take it coast to coast. Nice feed underneath. The hesitation, the shot, the rebound, the putback, no. But a foul.
Well, he drew the foul, but I don't even know if that ball caught iron. If it touched anybody, it was borderline traveling.
At the line for the Tigers, number 42, Jacob Spurgeon, shooting.
Jacob Spurgeon at the free throw line.
In for Falls City Sacred
Here's the
Heart,
first.
number 35, Dan Simon.
Second one, no good. Sacred Heart back the other way, trailing 8-4. Santo, baseline, shot in and out. Back the other way, Paxton, reverse layup, no good. Foul, they'll take it out of bounds.
Well, Paxton doing a good job banging the boards early here. Only one shot and out for Sacred Heart. And that was the sixth rebound by Paxton, opposed to Falls City's 2.
Dan Simon with the foul. Interior play. Anderson, no. High leaping rebound for Josh Rodd. R-H-O-D-D. Rodd thought about it from three. Now they move it around. Lemeron up top, down low. Shot was blocked. We have a foul. And a couple of shots coming up from the free throw line.
The battle of Shane Hansmeyer is for personal foul.
Shane Hansmeyer called for the foul against the Tigers.
Number 35, Dan Simon, shooting 2 shots.
And here's Dan Simon to the free throw line.
Well, we talked about it before, how crucial free throw shooting can be. Early, late, middle of the game, no matter when, it always adds up.
We really haven't had a game that's come down to free throw shooting yet. All three of them have been decided by double digits here on Championship Saturday. West Point Central Catholic, Loomis, and Grand Island, you're so far your state champions crowned today. Baseline drive, right-hander missed by Treidel. Rebound Sacred Heart. Back the other way come the Irish, down 8-6. Into the corner, a drive, a shot, missed. Spurgeon brings it back the other way for Paxton. After the rebound, a look down low. Crabb, no. They crash and literally crash. Foul is going to be on Spurgeon.
Not too many offensive rebounds by either team, but especially Falls City Sacred Heart. Not really banging the boards. It's one shot and out.
Number 22, Justin Esquire.
In some ways, this feeling out process is taking some time. Drive inside, kick back out. O'Grady into the corner. Shot off the glass and good. Adam Santo.
Nice touch.
And we are tied at 8. Quickly into the front court. Vasquez. Treidel. Hansmeyer. Tim Crabb, 0-0. Tanner Anderson will take it. Sacred Heart coming out. Trying to crack down inside. Now they bring it back out. Off back rim, no good. Rebound Sacred Heart. Chance for the Irish to take their first lead. Bounce pass. Nice cutoff by Paxton. They were back quickly on defense. And Sacred Heart will have to retreat. 2:25 left, first period. Here's a three on the way. Off the mark by Simon. Long rebound to the Irish. Penetration kick out. Three. Yes.
Oh, nice roll.
Lemeron with the triple. 11-8. First lead for this Falls City Sacred Heart Irish. Their girls team won a state title last week. Anderson will take the three. And no good. Rebound Simon. The green and white back the other way. Simon has it out on the perimeter. Looking low, fade away. Almost a push away, you might say.
Yeah.
Down the other way, Anderson in the lane. Scoop layup is good.
Nice movement. A jump stop. Didn't even have to put the ball down.
Irish have it. Banger. Banging around and double dribbled. Kanabe back in the game for the Irish. And Josh Rod returned. And for Paxton, Josh Worley. It's the 11-10 in favor of the Irish. And if you have color TV, I think you pretty much know who the Irish are, judging by the uniforms. If you have not seen these teams before, three is up and in. Shane Hansmeyer. First tray for Paxton, and they're back up by 2 with a minute to play in the first quarter.
Got to challenge that defense to step out there.
Kanabe drives, kicks it back out. Penetration. Leaner is no good. Gets his own miss. Off the glass and in. Adam Santo.
Santo likes that glass.
Tied up again at 13. 40 seconds left. Paxton around the perimeter. Down low. Baseline. Tough. Had players crowding in there, but the rebound and the putback by Tim Crabb. Crabb has 6 points. Irish again trail by 2. A drive at the baseline, and they bring it back out. Out of bounds, and it belongs to Paxton. Irish players trying to coax a call out of the officials, won't get it.
That rarely happens.
Usually when you try to coax them into a call, it's eventually, sometimes it comes back and pays you back later on, but that's not necessarily always the case. Final 14 seconds of the first period. Paxton leading by 2. Down to 5, down to 4. Time is running out. A drive by Anderson, and he double dribbled with 2 seconds left. Anderson was going to try to drive and create something, but...
In for Paxton, number 30, Andy Elder.
Andy Elder checks in. 2 seconds left. We'll see what the Irish do here. Get in a quick pass. They do to Rod. He'll put it up at the buzzer. No. And we have played 8 minutes with your score. Paxton 15 and Falls City Sacred Heart 13. And this gives us a moment to again run down what happened earlier today at the state tournament. In our first game this morning at 9:30, West Point Central Catholic wins their 2nd straight C2 title, 59-48 over Donovan. Chris Wagner led the way with 21 points. Dustin Wickman had 16. In Class D2, Loomis wins their first state championship after losing the title game last year to Philly. They come back this year and beat Wausau by 15. 3 players in double figures for the Wolves, including Eric Sweeney's 15 points. And then in our 1:30 game in Class A, only the 3rd out-state Class A school to win a state championship in the last 30 years prevailed. Grand Island 73, Bellevue West 46. For GI, it is their first state title since 1948.
Well, I'll tell you what, if folks are just tuning in and they saw that or heard that score for the first time, they would be really surprised. But if you saw that game, Grand Island was seemed to be in control from start, with the exception of the first 2 minutes, start to finish.
Really, they were. First 2 minutes were all Bellevue West, and the rest of the way, Grand Island just literally dominated. In the lane, shot is good, but are they going to count it? Yes!
They do.
Hesitant call there just a moment. But our official, Jerry Donahue from Fremont, says it counts.
Well, Santo Has 3 field goals. All of them have been off the glass. So it's no fluke that he's using the window.
But he missed the three-point play opportunity. Tied at 15. Early stages, second quarter. Outlet pass wide open. Josh Worley.
Oh, the Irish were caught napping right there.
Paxton pushing up the floor. Santo penetrates, has to bring it back out. Kanabe back to Santo. 17-15, Paxton with the lead. Into the corner. Kanabe outside. Back in. They'll muscle it up. Good. O'Grady.
Working that triangle half-court offense to perfection.
He's got 4. Tied at 17 again. Seesaw game, back and forth. And nice runner in the lane. Shane Hansmeyer floating up in the air. Makes it down. Back the other way. Falls City Sacred Heart off the window and in. Brian Lemerand. And all of a sudden, the pace has quickened considerably.
Certainly has.
Tied at 19. Now we'll see a half-court offense.
Well, it's almost as if each team is matching what the other is doing. You're going to speed up the pace? We'll speed up the pace.
Long 3 by Anderson, no good. Kanabe with the rebound, and Santo up ahead. 90 seconds into the second quarter, tied at 19. Lemeron nearly has it stolen to Santo. Around it goes. O'Grady's 3 is good!
O'Grady hit that shot despite the defender with a little bump. It could have possibly been a 4-point play.
22-19, and we've seen a lot of those today. People getting fouled on 3-point attempts. Give in, give out. Back outside, down low. Crab, nice ball movement. Ball never touched the floor.
Textbook play right there.
Worley with 2. 22-21, Fall City Sacred Heart by 1. O'Grady again for 3. No. Rebound, Vasquez. Crab will pull the trigger on the long jumper. No. And crashing the boards, Kanabe for the Irish. Sacred Heart leading by a point. 5:25 left first half. A drive inside. Now bring it back out. Creating. Open. 3. No. Rebound tipped out and back to Sacred Heart. Lemeron. O'Grady. Now Santo leaning in off the glass. No. Tip try no good. Tip try no good. Paxton back the other way. Errant pass. Stolen by Lemeron. He wants to take it in himself. He'll lay it up and in.
With no problem going in there for the slashing move.
And Paxton wants a timeout. Jody Rhodes says, I have seen enough here for the moment. Paxton has fallen behind 3 with 4:49 left here in the first half of play, the D1 state championship game. We talked about how Paxton got here earlier. A 3-point win over Chambers and a 2-point win over Bancroft Rosalie. Sacred Heart had a much easier path. They stomped on Medicine Valley 79-57 and then eliminated Shelby 71-54. So while Paxton has been challenged here in this state tournament with close games, Sacred Heart has not. And we'll see, sometimes that can make a difference when you head into the championship game if your road was more difficult getting there. I think you could arguably say that maybe that helped Grand Island a little bit today as they look down low, off the glass and in.
Good way to stick with it underneath, not giving up the interior pass.
Crab has 8 points, back down to a 1-point game. Kanabe traveled. Thought about the 3, then stepped forward. That in the rule book is what is considered a no-no. Lob for Anderson, fadeaway baseline, no. Rebound tipped out and controlled by O'Grady of Sacred Heart. Here are the Irish. Santo between 2 defenders, bounce pass low, nice speed, beautiful play, and no! They don't get it, but the putback is up and in by Lemeron.
Well, Sacred Heart doing a good job of getting those offensive rebounds, providing for the second chance shots.
We break under the 4-minute mark to play in the first half. 26-23 Irish. Tigers looking, and a double dribble. Robbie Treidel. And here's Santo into the front court. Paxton picks him up with a pair of defenders. Wide open, O'Grady.
Obviously a breakdown in defensive strategy there for Paxton. O'Grady, no problem.
28-23, biggest lead of the game. And it belongs to Falls City Sacred Heart. Anderson in the corner. Wants to drive and has to bring it back out. Irish man-to-man with the defense. Paxton trying to move the floor. Crabb. Outside Treidel, down low, layup good. Vasquez.
Justin Vasquez.
Both teams doing a good job working it inside.
Irish move it around again. Dan Simon back in there, had it for a touch. A look down low. Kanabe cannot handle it. The pass intended for Simon. Or Kanabe, beg your pardon, and Lemerond was the trigger man. 2 minutes, 44 seconds left, first half. 28-25, Falls City Sacred Heart. And we'll pause and be back.
On the next Handyman, we'll help you make your house into a home by showing you how easy it can be to take on improvement and maintenance projects. We'll also have some unique decorative ideas, and a guest will stop by with some helpful information. Plus, we'll have simple solutions to help make your life just a little bit easier. We've got all that and lots more for you on the next edition of Handyman.
Monday nights at 9:30 Central Time, only on EduCable.
What I'd really like to be is a rich man's mistress. Well, even a rich man's mistress has her boring moments.
Well, we all have to go sooner or later. From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered.
John Bishop, Scott Kilbury, Luke Stuckmeyer. Back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. This is the D1 State Final. Final 2:38 of the first half. Falls City Sacred Heart and Paxton with the Irish from Falls City leading by 3. Crabb. Good. He's into double figures with 10 points. Irish back quickly the other way. Banger to Santo. O'Grady trying to bounce pass, and Crabb stood in front of it. He outlets ahead to Anderson. Anderson takes it in off the glass. It's not good, but it's tied.
Well, Santo doing a great job to draw the offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Cameron Anderson. His first
Either as
personal foul.
you have two choices when that happens on the break. You either go for the ball and make sure nobody gets a shot off, or take one for the team and try to draw the offensive.
5th foul on Paxton. First on Anderson. 28-27. Outside for Santo. Josh Watt back in there. He's in the corner between two defenders and is blocked. Hansmeyer picks up his second. Number 6 against the Tigers. Still an inbound situation. And there's Josh Worley back into the game for head coach Jody Rhodes. Paxton won a D1 title back in '95 and 2 runner-up performances back in Class K in 1922 and in Class D in 1945.
That's a small class. Okay.
Believe it or not, it doesn't end there. Now you're going to make me open the program here because I can't remember how many letters it goes back. In 1926, as they look down low, a near save, out of bounds. It belongs to the Irish. 1926, it went all the way to Class V. V. Now that, you know, people accuse the NSAA of having too many classes now with 6, and saying, well, we need to narrow it down. We need to stop giving all these classes. How about Class V?
You just name the classes after your school. First initial of your school.
It could be. You can have an alphabetical class. Shot. Oh, for 3. Robbie Tidal. Into the corner. Banger. Outside again. Santo. 30-28. Paxton, and O'Grady ties it up. Nate O'Grady is quietly having a pretty good day here so far. 11 points. Final 30 seconds of the first half. We are knotted up at 30-30.
Paxton playing for the last shot.
And Sacred Heart will not press outside. They'll make Paxton come to them. Under 10 seconds. Down low. Crabb lost the handle on it. Now he'll take the 3. No. With 2 seconds left. They'll put it up from half court, and it'll be off the mark. And we are back to where we started from. 30-30. Paxton and Falls City Sacred Heart. The 1999 Boys State Basketball Championships. And we're back in a moment.
You're watching Nebraska Public Television. Go Red!
Are you exhausted trying to keep your lawns, plants, and trees healthy and attractive? Well, friends, I'm Jerry Baker, and I'm here to tell you that good gardening is easier than you may think. It just takes a few amazing tips, tricks, and tonics. What might those be? Find out by joining me, Jerry Baker, for my marathon.
Tomorrow, beginning at 2 Central Time on Nebraska Public Television.
Facing the Truth with Bill Moyer. Premiering March 30th.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center, where we are at halftime of the 1999 Class D1 State Championship game. We're tied at 30. Paxton and Falls City Sacred Heart. Taking a look quickly at the leading scorers in this game. 11 points for Nate O'Grady leads the way for Falls City Sacred Heart. 9 for Brian Lemeron. 6 for Adam Santo, and 2 apiece for Josh Rod and Dan Simon. And for Paxton, Tim Crabb has 5 field goals for 10 points. 5 for Shane Hansmeyer, 4 for Tanner Anderson, 4 for Josh Worley, 5 for Robbie Treidel, and 2 for Justin Vasquez. And so far, Scott Kilbury, it's been pretty much each team following the pace of the other in terms of how it goes. We had a couple of spurts there where it was up and down the floor, but for most of the game, it's been pretty much a half-court style, and eventually someone's going to have to take charge of this basketball game, because right now it's been pretty much neutral.
Yeah, it certainly has. These are 2 evenly matched teams. One team trying to set the tempo, but neither one has done it thus far. And as it stands, pretty even in nearly every category. Rebounding after the first quarter, 14-13 in favor of Paxton, and then coming the second quarter, rebounding was in the favor of Falls City, 15-11. So Falls City coming alive in that second quarter with 7 offensive rebounds. But other than that, the edge really doesn't go to either team. Field goals in the first quarter, 7-5. in favor of Paxton, but once again, Falls City came alive in the second quarter. So pretty even.
These are two pretty much evenly matched basketball teams, and we'll see what happens coming up in the second half. We'll step aside for a break and be back with more Class D1 state basketball action after this.
Almost heaven.
His music was a love song to America. His life a celebration of all things wild and free.
Every aspect of nature was man's first inspiration.
Hear his last words, his last song, John Denver, Let This Be a Voice. A special tribute next time on Nature.
Tomorrow night at 7 Central Time on Nebraska Public Television.
The images of South Africans going to the polls are burned into my memory. Great lines of patient people snaking through the dirt roads and streets of towns and cities. Old women who had waited half a century to cast their first vote, saying that they felt like human beings for the first time in their lives. It was as if we were a nation reborn.
This Millennium Minute has been made possible by the National Endowment for the Humanities.
NET, Nebraska Educational Telecommunications, is public television in Nebraska and so much more. Together with the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center, NET is creating instructional courses delivered on the internet. Officers can learn the latest techniques on their own schedules at their own pace. We're using technology to make your neighborhood safer and our state a better place to live. It's all part of NET, educating, challenging, and inspiring Nebraska, the nation, and the world through excellence in non-commercial telecommunications.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center. John Bishop along with Scott Kilberry as we prepare for the Class D1 championship game second half. We are tied at 30 of our game here between Paxton and Falls City Sacred Heart. We have yet to have a game go down to the wire, and it's very possible we may have that here today, at least in this fourth game of 6 championship games here at the Devaney Center. Let's quickly recap what happened earlier today. For those of you just joining us in Class D2, it was West Point Central Catholic winning their second straight 59-48 over Doniphan, and Scott, in that game was simply a case of Doniphan unable to get any penetration from their guards and create anything underneath for themselves.
That's right. West Point in control from the very beginning, and hence the 11-point wins, 59-48.
Loomis over Wausau, 70-55 in D2, and in Class A, Grand Island 73, Bellevue West 46. Islanders win their first title since 48. Here are your statistics for the first half of this basketball game, and it's a fairly an even bunch with the exception of 3-point field goal shooting. 2 of 5 for Paxton, just 2 of 7 for Falls City Sacred Heart. Rebounds in the advantage, though, of Sacred Heart, and turnovers are relatively low for this point in the basketball game.
Yeah, like you said, fairly evenly matched, and as far as field goals attempted and made, 14 versus 13, we got ourselves a knotted ball game at 30s apiece.
And we'll be back for more halftime activities from the Bob Devaney Sports Center after this.
No. Send him away. I shan't be seeing Mr. Mallory ever again. He's much too simple a country boy. I'm going to London, where I shall marry a gentleman. And I'll live in a big, fancy house. Oh, please, sweet brother. Can't you see what it is that will make me truly happy?
Well, yeah, but he's like downstairs. What do you want me to tell him?
It's a concert hall, a preschool, a university, and a gallery. It also happens to be your home. Nebraska Educational Telecommunications has improved homes and enriched lives across our state. But now digital TV is about to become a reality. And tuning into us will soon be a very different experience. We'll look and sound better than ever. You'll have more choices, and teachers will have more tools. And television will change from something you watch to something you use. But one thing will remain the same. Nebraska Educational Telecommunications will be there for you in the digital future, just as we have in the past, but only with your support. Because we can't improve your home, your life, and your future without a solid foundation.
At the Bob Devaney Sports Center, this is the Class D1 State Championship game. Falls City Sacred Heart and Paxton tied at 30 as we prepare for the second half of play. Want to remind our viewers that coming up after this Class D1 championship, we will have the presentation of the Class D1 All-State team. We have selected a D1 All-State team, and we will present that to you coming up after this basketball game. Back with more. Second half is coming up next.
Growing up in Yonkers, New York, I was part of the first generation that did not have an involvement with the river. You know, we lost it, but it made me want to find my roots in the river, you know, what the river meant to me. And what I discovered was that great feeling of ownership and that feeling of belonging, you know, that the river belongs to me, I belong to the river. When you think about PBS, it's very much the same thing. You know, you belong to it, it belongs to you. It's a place where you can rediscover things about yourself and about your community and about your roots. My first exposure to nature was via television, and the pioneer in bringing nature into the homes of us city kids was public television. One of the things I saw in the past 2 years, which was terrific, was Kevin Kline's production of Hamlet, which was done as a very contemporary production of Hamlet. I'm not a big Shakespeare buff by any means. I'm not well versed in the theater or drama, but boy, this captured my imagination. It's worth remembering that PBS was the pioneer of nature broadcasting, was the pioneer of different kind of news broadcasting, was the pioneer of live performance broadcasting. They will continue to be the pioneer of new kinds of broadcasting.
It's halftime of the Class D1 State Championship, and boy, do we have a great game unfolding before us. Paxton, Falls City Sacred Heart, John Bishop are knotted up at 30.
And we want to welcome those of you watching on KOLN, KGIN TV, Lincoln, Grand Island. You've joined us just in time. It's as if you never left us, because after all, we're tied. The first half got us nowhere, except 30 points for each team. So we'll see what the second half unfolds for us here. As Paxton will have the basketball, they are dressed in the yellow with the blue numerals trimmed in white, and Falls City Sacred Heart in the green. First jumper out of the hands of Anderson, off no good, and here we go. Falls City Sacred Heart. Josh Rod. Here's O'Grady for three. He is fouled. That is the sixth, I believe, fifth or sixth time today where someone has been fouled shooting a three.
Granted, not all in this game.
No.
But today. You want to confuse those people that are just tuning in.
Exactly.
Boy, I missed a lot in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't see that very often. You just don't.
No.
So O'Grady will try to make Paxton pay. First one is good. He now has 12 game-high points. He now has 13.
Just the perfect name, O'Grady, playing for the Irish.
Well, I'm looking here. You have O'Grady. Simon, I believe, is that Irish? I think it could be. Could be, possibly. Third one is good.
Makes them pay.
And it's 33-30. Fall City Sacred Heart breaks the tie with 3 free throws. Crabb into the front court. This is Jeremy Anderson. Near side, Jacob Spurgeon. Up top, Robbie Treidel. Now they work the corner again. Down low, Crabb. Yes.
That was a tough shot. Over a defender. Hand in his face.
Crabb, who averages 9 points a game, already has 12. And they'll move it around. Sacred Heart with the 1-point lead. 6:45 left, third quarter. This is Adam Santo. Brian Lemeron for 3. And Lemeron has 12 points. It's 36-32. Sacred Heart by 4. Biggest lead, I believe, in this game is 5 by Sacred Heart.
After every run, there seems to be an answer at both ends of the court for each team.
3 on the way, in and out, backhand.
I don't know how that ball rolled in there because Anderson's shot has no rotation.
And a charge is called on Fall City Sacred Heart. Laying on the floor is Josh Rod. And he picks up his second.
Yeah, he was going in there out of control.
(36-35) Fall City Sacred Heart. 6 minutes to go, third quarter.
Irish with that man-to-man pressure.
Crabb works with Hansmeyer. Now to Treidel, across the floor to Anderson. Baseline, one-hander, yes.
That was a tough shot.
Anderson has 9 points. A look down low, Lemeron. Awkward shot in the lane, rebound, Kanabe, basket good. Todd Kanabe with his first 2, and Sacred Heart back up by 1, 38-37.
You get those second chances, they're going to pay off like Kanabe made.
Hansmeyer, Crabb, yes. There isn't much rotation on that basketball. He throws a Charlie Huff knuckleball up there. Shot in the lane, it's good, and a foul, and it counts. And O'Grady flattens Justin Vasquez almost into the front row.
And he used that window perfectly, just lofting it high above the square, above the rim. Falls. Chance for a three-point play.
Foul is on Robbie Treidel, his second. O'Grady misses his opportunity. 40-39, Sacred Heart by 1. Down the floor, bounce pass in the lane, intercepted, tie up, possession arrow, Irish.
Well, that entry pass never had a chance getting there. It was forced inside. Good defense by the Irish.
And Sacred Heart will bring it back with Adam Santo into the front court. Dan Simon. They look for Kanabe. He finds a cutter baseline, off balance, shot no good, and an offensive foul against Sacred Heart.
The foul is on Nate O'Grady, his first personal foul.
And Nate O'Grady picks up his first personal foul. It comes with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third. And Fall City Sacred Heart leading by 1. Neither team has been ahead by more than 5. In a nip-and-tuck game all the way, Shane Hansmeyer will trot it across the timeline. Skip a pass across the floor for Worley. Up top 3 for Hansmeyer. Off the back iron. Long rebound taken away by Crabb. Paxton keeps it alive. Anderson. Paxton moving around the perimeter. Sacred Heart zone defense right now. Not allowing anything inside. Anderson's 3 is no good. Rebound to the Irish. Here comes Lemeron. Halfway through the quarter, Lemeron nearly goes out of bounds, has to come back with a pass. Sacred Heart moving around quickly, and a collision and a foul. Hansmeyer came flying in there and smeared Adam Santo in front of the Sacred Heart bench.
Getting a little physical this second half.
13th foul against the Puckers.
Really wasn't much contact in the first half.
For Paxton, number 33.
Rather quiet. Low foul totals.
But Hansmeyer does pick up his third personal. (40-39), Falls City Sacred Heart been stuck on the score for a little bit. Lemeron across the floor, O'Grady. Open three, good! Dan Simon with his first field goal to go with 2 free throws, and it's up to a 4-point lead for Falls City Sacred Heart.
See if Paxton has an answer here.
Sacred Heart, that 2-3 zone right now is really cutting off any penetration underneath. Paxton's having to move the ball around, looking for a crease. Now he'll try to make one. Crabb. Bob, weave, shot, score. Tim Crabb.
Once again with a man in his face. And that was good defense.
16 points, 3-pointer on the way, air balls, and a foul. And this one's going to be against, I believe it's Lemeron. No, it's on Tom Kanabi. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 43-41 Falls City Sacred Heart. It'll be Paxton basketball when we return in a moment.
They say that soon we'll get 500 channels on our televisions. Does that mean we'll get more programs devoted to cultivating minds? Probably not. In fact, if PBS isn't one of those 500 channels, almost all we'll be left with is more programs devoted to cultivating crops.
Meet a fellow who has turned his passion for the bagpipes into an obsession with one of the world's largest private collections of this ancient instrument. Plus, we'll visit a woman who really does give a hoot when it comes to caring for injured wildlife. It's a piper's tune and the call of the wild. Next time on People Near Here.
Monday night at 8 Central Time, only on EduCable.
Along with Scott Kilberry and Luke Stuckmeyer, I'm John Bishop. We're at the Devaney Center for Championship Saturday number 89 since 1911. This is the D1 title game. Paxton down 2 with the basketball and 2:45 left here in the third. Crabb against the double team. Back outside. Esquez. Pridle wants to penetrate. Hanging jumper. It's good, and he's fouled and counts it.
Tough shot. Chance to go ahead now.
Santo caught leaning in with the body, and here's Robbie Pridle. Averaging 7 points a game, a 6'3" senior, and it's good. 6 points for Pridle, and Paxton is back up by 1. Sacred Heart into the corner. Simon has to bring it out for O'Grady. Paxton still chasing around man-to-man. O'Grady pushes off, no call. He really leaned a right shoulder in there. Down low, O'Grady, too strong. And a tough rebound yanked out of there by Jacob Spurgeon.
Still no call. The crowd and everybody else wanted a call there. Out of control was the Sacred Heart guard, and thought there was a charge.
Spurgeon inside the free throw line, back out for Pridle. Now they move it around. Vasquez off the glass, tip. Paxton has it back in the lane. Spinner, no. Spurgeon has it. Leaner up, no. He'll go to the line for two.
A lot of opportunities there for Paxton. Offensive rebounds, just creating too many putbacks if you're Paxton, or if you're Sacred Heart, you want to box out.
Second foul on Dan Simon. Spurgeon, his first point today, his first made free throw, missed two earlier in the game, back in the first half. This would give Paxton a 3-point lead. In and out. It's 45-43, 90 seconds left here in the third. Simon, head fake, moves inside, charge!
That time they called it. Last trip down, Sacred Heart was just out of control. A lot of opportunities for some charging calls. They get it this time down.
Todd Kanabe is back in for Sacred Heart. And Paxton will have the basketball, and we're going to see the Irish press with their guards. Paxton trots it into the forward zone. Ball knocked away, saved by Vasquez. Spurgeon, bounce pass, Crido, stripped. Nice defense. Santo, back the other way for the Irish. He's going to drive and is bumped.
Second personal foul. 14th foul against
Foul on Tanner Anderson. It's number 2 for Tanner, and the 4th on Paxton. Here's Rod. Josh Rod ties the game at 45. We're under a minute to go. Third quarter. D1 title game. Paxton will look around. Anderson wants to penetrate. Does. Later is good. Way to bust the zone. 11 points for Anderson.
He's really come alive in the second half here.
He just had 4 in the first half. Now the Irish will play for a last shot here. A 2 would tie it. A 3 would give them the lead. Santo, Lemeron. Santo will penetrate. Deal. Knocked out of bounds. Off of Paxton. 6.7 left.
That was a great pass. You just got to come up and meet the ball. Josh Rod was caught standing there waiting for the ball to come to him.
Lemeron will trigger it in. And they get it in. Sacred Heart running out of clock here. 3 on the way, and a foul, and 3 free throws again.
Boy, that's tough with 2.3 seconds left in the quarter, and you're given 3 shots, at least 3 opportunities.
So that's the 3rd foul on Robbie Treidel, and at the free throw line, Brian Lemeron. And Lemeron is quietly having a pretty good day, too. He's got now 13 points. Really, no one has stood out as a superstar in this game. Just had some solid play from a number of folks.
In for Paxton, number 23, Josh Worley.
Worley in, Treidel out. As you can see, Lemeron taking the hit off the 3. Wipes his nose and is at the free throw line. This would be the 3rd of 3. If he can make it. And he can. Sacred Heart will bring in Jim Bangert. 2.3 seconds left. See what Paxton can get off here. In that time, Anderson going to have to heave it up from half court. Well off. We played through 3 in the Class D1 championship, and no one has taken command yet. It's Paxton trailing by 1 to Falls City Sacred Heart.
Live coverage of the 1999 State High School Basketball Finals is brought to you in part by Southeast Community College, offering vocational, technical, and academic transfer education on campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford, as well as continuing education in communities throughout southeast Nebraska. NC Plus Hybrids, high-yield technology for Nebraska's farmers. Farmer-owned NC Plus, America's down-to-earth seed company. The Nebraska Abstinence Coalition, working to prevent teenage pregnancy and the spread of sexually transmitted diseases by recommending sexual abstinence until marriage. Nebraska's community colleges, preparing you for the 21st century. Contact Central, Metropolitan, Mid-Plains, Northeast, Southeast, or Western Nebraska community colleges. BASF, makers of Distinct. Out-of-this-world broadleaf control is here. Distinct from BASF.
So it'll be Paxton basketball to start the final period. They trail by 1. Anderson, Spurgeon, Treidel, Hansmeyer, Crabb. Everyone's touched it now for Paxton here to start the fourth quarter.
The ball hasn't touched the ground.
Paxton looking around, trying to knife through the zone. Anderson in the lane, yeah.
Ball touched the ground just once, and the guy scores.
Anderson with 13 points, Paxton by 1. Three on the way, good! Nate O'Grady.
Boy, he touched every corner of the rim, rattling it home.
Now we're back onto an even number sequence. 2-point lead for a Sacred Heart. And a steal, taken away. Here's Kanabe, drives in, layup, score. He's got 4, and the lead is 4 for the Irish. And they're standing across the way. Anderson. And Paxton wants a timeout. Jody Rhodes signals for time. 6:49 left.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Take a 20.
That's exactly what one of these teams needed, a spark. It seems like we haven't had really a run in this game. If there's been a run, it's been 5 points at that, and every team has matched it. Maybe that's the spark that Falls City needed.
Well, if the game continues as it has, it's going to be the team that has that last spurt that will win.
Right. At halftime, we were tied at 30s. It was a 1-point game entering this final quarter.
6:49 left. Paxton will inbound. Tim Crabb will get it in and does to Tanner Anderson. It's cut off at the baseline. Loose ball on the floor, taken out. Hansmeyer dribbles around, now has it to Anderson. Anderson, turnaround, tough shot, no. Crashing the boards, rebound, Sacred Heart. Rod comes out of there with it, and the Irish can extend the lead. Into the corner, back outside. They look for O'Grady. O'Grady leans in, no good. He'll go to the free throw line.
O'Grady doing a good job, not afraid to go inside and bang some bodies. As it stands right now, he's the only guy willing to do that. Everybody, they're going to shoot from outside.
Third foul on Jacob Spurgeon, and here is Nate O'Grady. He's got 20 points now. Six-point lead for the Irish. Down the floor quickly. Paxton trying to get in there, and they're also on the dribble. And Kanabe comes away with it for the Irish. And this could be the run that we've been looking for. Down low. Oh, tough shot. Almost sloppy there. Josh Rod.
You're right. It appeared to be out of control, but Rod looking like the hot rod.
Now the Irish have the game's first big run. 57-49, 8-point lead, biggest of the game. Spurgeon cut off. Sacred Heart now switching up defensively, man-to-man. Down low, Anderson trying to move down low. Fouled. And that is number 7 on the Irish. And it's going to be on Josh Rod.
Well, as it stands, Tanner Anderson of Paxton is the only man for the Tigers willing to create, willing to try to go in the lane, make a shot happen. Other guys are passing around, but nobody's really slashing or moving away from the ball.
Anderson connects on the front end of the 1-and-1. He has 14 points, 10 in the second half. And now with 5:27 left, Paxton can make it a 6-point deficit. In and out, O'Grady rebound. Irish in control here. Paxton needs a defensive stop. Far side, Lemeron nearly went out of bounds with that wild pass. Rod for 3. It's good.
Rod is heating up.
60-50. And Paxton wants timeout. The biggest run of the game belongs to the Irish, and right now they're up 10 with 5:03 left in the D1 state title game.
NET, Nebraska Educational Telecommunications, is public television in Nebraska and so much more. Much of Nebraska enjoys the world's finest classical music from the Nebraska Public Radio Network. You hear the world's finest news organizations on Nebraska Public Radio, along with our own award-winning local news program, Nebraska Nightly. We're also the place you'll find a Prairie Home Companion, Garrison Keeler. More than broadcasting, Nebraska Public Radio offers music appreciation classes across the state. It's all part of NET, educating, challenging, and inspiring Nebraska, the nation, and the world through excellence in non-commercial telecommunications.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is your Nebraska ETV Network.
And this is what Fall City Sacred Heart means by grabbing the tiger by the tail.
And tickling the twine.
10-point lead, biggest of the game. The Irish have it. We're under 5 minutes to go. They look down low for Vasquez. Vasquez with his back to the basket has to bring it back out to Hansmeyer. Sacred Heart switching up on defense. They were in zone early, now back to man-to-man. They move it around for Anderson. Tried to create. And got hacked.
Well, Anderson has the right idea. If you move enough, flash enough, something's going to give. And he's just been drawing the fouls right and left. Other than that, I don't see anybody else for the Tigers doing anything right now.
Anderson at the line. It was his layup yesterday, with 6 seconds left, that eliminated Bancroft Rosalie. Makes them both. He has 16 points. It's an 8-point Fall City Sacred Heart Irish lead. 4:35 left, down the floor. Intercepted, Spurgeon saved it, but right into the hands of O'Grady. Great athletic play. He went flying into the Sacred Heart bench, but there was not a teammate in the line of his pass. Lemeron and Santo play catch with it. Irish, Doug Goltz's team running some clock here. Paxton trying to pursue out. Under 4 minutes to go.
Well, the Irish are sitting on an 8-point lead. They got to force Paxton to come out and guard them.
O'Grady. Back out for Santo. 3:40 left. This possession taking some time off of that clock with an 8-point lead. Sacred Heart Irish can do it. Down low, it's O'Grady. Nice feed underneath. Kanabe has it for foul. It counts. Send Todd Kanabe to the line for one more.
Well, you couldn't have scripted any better on that possession for Sacred Heart. Using the clock, winding it down, and work it down low to the open man, and then pick up a foul while you're at it.
Tim Crabb with the foul, and here's Todd Kanabe. 7 points for the 6'2 senior. And with 3:32 left, Doug Goltz wants to take a timeout with his team leading by 11.
Join Frank Patterson, Ireland's golden tenor, for a musical tour of the Emerald Isle. From the classic Danny Boy to the rollicking Irish Malio. Frank Patterson shares his love of his native land with you in Ireland in Song.
Wednesday night at 7 Central Time on Nebraska Public Television.
Take a walk on the wild side with public television.
Well, Falls City Sacred Heart has outscored Paxton in this final bracket 15-5, and this is why. Just working the ball around, plenty of patience.
Under 3.5 to go, and Paxton is in trouble. Stolen away, lost on the floor. Sacred Heart comes away with it. Anderson couldn't handle the pass. And the Irish could be moving in on a state title. Into the corner for Rod. They look for O'Grady leaning in. He'll go to the line for two.
O'Grady really knows how to use that body. Just kind of leans back, and if there's a defender in the way, he's going to bang the boards, otherwise draw a foul.
Vasquez with the personal foul. Falls City Sacred Heart in this state tournament. Not too bad free throw shooting. 10 of 15 against Medicine Valley and 12 of 16 against Shelby. In this game, they are 12 of 15 unofficially on my scorecard. So they've done their homework. They've done their extra practice in the gym. Down the lane, all the way, shot blocked against the glass. And a tie-up is called. Possession arrow to Falls City Sacred Heart. And Paxton may have run out of juice here.
Nate O'Grady doing everything. Looked like him underneath there with the block against the glass.
Here come the Irish. Kanabe stops at the baseline. Long pass. Foul. Paxton fans aren't happy with the call on Robbie Treidel.
The foul's on Robbie Treidel. His fourth personal foul.
And that is his number 4.
At the line for Falls City Sacred Heart, number 12, Adam Santo, shooting 1 and 1.
Santo with 6 points. No good. Nearly tipped back in by Kanabe. Save! Beautiful save by Rod. Shot off the glass, no good. Here's Paxton. They have to desperately need a bucket here. Down by 13 with 2.5 minutes to go. Really don't have much time to set something up. They've got to find an open shot. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Brian Lemerond.
The foul on Brian Lemerond, his third personal foul. 19 fouls
And
against
Tanner Anderson goes to the free throw line.
At the line for Paxton, number 3, Tanner Anderson.
Clock is stopped, need to score. 17 points for Anderson. He averages 26.5.
That's a heck of an average. (65-54). They need a lot more of those, though, to get back into this one. 2:15 left. Down the floor, O'Grady. They had numbers for a minute. They'll pull it back. Two teammates collide with the ball. And a foul. That was a dangerous, dangerous situation for Sacred Heart.
The foul on Tim Crabb, his second personal foul, 10th team foul.
Crabb with the foul, but we had two teammates coming over for the same pass.
Number 12, Adam Santo, shooting.
That should have been a steal.
Yeah, confusion there in the Irish offense, but that's the way the day's been going for Sacred Heart. In their favor.
Santo misses the first. It's double bonus the rest of the way for both teams with 2:07 left, and the Irish with an 11-point lead. Still an 11-point lead. And Paxton has an opportunity. But they need to make the most of it with 2:07 left.
Well, we'll see if Paxton moves around on offense. See if we can get the Tigers moving.
Outside Anderson, super long three.
That's just way out of range. Got to create something a little better than that.
Sacred Heart going to play little four corners here. And a foul. And to the free throw line will go Todd Kanabe with 7 points. And with 1:38 left, if he could make them both, as Hansmeyer picks up his fourth, and he makes them both here, I'd have to say you give this one to the Irish.
Shooting 2 shots.
Well, everything in this quarter has swung in the favor of the Irish, and rightly so. They've come out with like the team that really wants it more in the second half.
Makes them both.
20-second timeout. Falls City, Sacred Heart.
And the Irish want to talk things over, leading by 13 with 1:38 left, and I'm sure that Doug Goltz right now is saying, guys, no silly fouls on threes. We don't need to give these guys any more points than we absolutely have to. We've got a 13-point lead. Play smart on offense. Make your foul shots. We'll go home a winner.
Well, we got 98 seconds on the clock. Just need to continue playing the way they have is your Sacred Heart. If you're Paxton, what can you say? It looks like the three-point bombs are the only way to get back into this thing.
Minute 35 left. The Irish won state titles in 88, 89, 90, and 91. Drive in the lane. Anderson's scoop layup is good. Quick timeout taken by Paxton with 1:30 left. Didn't burn much time there. Didn't need to. That's probably not what Doug Goltz had in mind.
In from Falls City, Sacred Heart, number 35, Dan Simon.
But as we mentioned, Falls City with titles in 88, 89, 90, and 91, but they hadn't been back to state since that 91 title. So they had that really good spurt, couple of good classes in a row, and then not much as far as getting back to the state tournament is concerned. For Paxton, they won it back in 95. And then it took a couple years off, and they are back for their first state tournament in 2 years.
I'll tell you what, with the likes of Nate O'Grady as a junior, who knows, this could be the beginning of another run for Falls City Sacred Heart.
We take a look at up and down the lineups of both of these teams, and really, Paxton has an opportunity to come back here too, with Tanner Anderson and Shane Hansmeyer. Each underclassman, Tim Crabb. Irish will face some pressure. And they'll pass it across. They free it up. Minute 20 left. Irish need to foul. Again, two Irish players in the same place at the same time. Creates near disaster, and a foul is on Anderson, his third.
The fouls on Tanner Anderson, his third personal foul.
1:15 left. All the Irish need to do now is make their free throws. Santo has missed all 3 of his today. He has 6 points. Missed them both. Rebound underneath, no. Still another chance, nearly got another break. 67-56. Paxton needs to score in a hurry. Tough baseline, no. Foul on Paxton. Friedel, I believe, is fouled out of the game. He has. Robbie Friedel is done with 6 points. Friedel is 6'3" senior, playing his last game in a Paxton uniform.
And for Paxton, number 32,
there was a chance.
Justin Vasquez.
And with 1:03 left, free throws coming up for Dan Simon.
35, Dan Simon.
The Irish girls won last week. The Irish boys appear to win this week.
Well, that can only be nothing but a motivating factor to know that you're going to state after your counterparts come back with a trophy of their own the previous week.
For Fall City Sacred Heart, they've beaten a path to the capital city. Simon with 7 points, 13-point lead. A minute to go in the Class D1 championship. Anderson, floater, no. Rebound, Kanabe. And now it's a matter of running down the clock. And Crabb commits the foul. More free throws upcoming. Next up, Class D1. The Fairbury Jets and the Lincoln Christian Crusaders. Class C1 championship. Josh Rod.
In for Fall City Sacred Heart, number 21, Jim Banger.
Jim Banger back in. And that should do it for Brian Lemerond as he takes his seat. Second free throw. All good. 15-point game now. And a timeout taken by Paxton with 45 seconds left. Chance for both teams to clear the benches, get reserves out on the floor, and give them a chance to play in the state championship. We talked about Paxton. They'll have Anderson and Crabb, Hansmeyer, Vasquez, all back next year. They even have a sophomore at 6 foot with a very familiar name to state high school basketball fans, Mike Hahn. Speaking of Mike Hahn, I saw him yesterday. He was back in town to watch his alma mater, Lincoln Northeast. Got beaten double overtime in the Class A semifinals, but Mike's doing quite well along with Dan Masters and the Nebraska contingent that is headed out to Pacific, University of the Pacific. In fact, in our next game in Class C1, Tom Cockle, who plays for the Christian Crusaders from Lincoln, is also going out to Pacific on a basketball scholarship.
We'll just call that Nebraska West.
And Pacific is coming to Lincoln next year. They have signed a contract to play the University of Nebraska. So it'll be a homecoming for those Nebraska kids that went out there. And Mike Hahn doing quite well. Here's a shot, it's short. Had a stress fracture in his ankle, suffered a little past mid-season. Had to wear a boot, but he's doing quite well now. Alton Mason, former Northeast Rocket, he's down in Arizona State. That's where the top player in Class A, Sean Redditch, is headed from Lincoln East. So Nebraska kids getting a chance. As you can see, a lot of the substitutes coming in. Troy Taft. We mentioned Jim Banger in there for Fall City Sacred Heart. Nick Sikora for the Irish. They lead it 71-56. Mostly starters on the floor for Paxton. 20 seconds left. Sikora had it for a minute. And a foul committed.
The foul is on Jim Crabb. His fourth personal foul.
Crabb had a good start to this game, had 10 points in the first half, finishes, well, at least he has 16 now. We'll assume he's probably going to finish with 16. But outside of Crabb making a few jumpers from just inside the free throw line, and Tanner Anderson penetrating underneath, Paxton kind of went through the same problems that Donovan did earlier today.
Just grew cold in the second half.
Simon hits the free throw, and more substitutes coming in. A.J. Ahern. Anthony Weaver in. Now for Paxton. Josh Perlinger. And there's Mike Hahn, 44. And Jeff Heinrich. Some pretty good talent in this state. A lot of them end up staying home, playing at smaller colleges across the state. Nebraska Wesleyan, Doane, Midland. So just to name a very few. UNK. Three is short. Final 5 seconds, and Fall City Sacred Heart will pull a double up. A state championship for the girls and a state championship for the boys. Fall City Sacred Heart wins their first state championship since 1991. We'll be back for the medal presentations in a moment.
Man, I bet nobody's ever thought of doing this before.
Fall City Sacred Heart, 72, Paxton 56. Will meet the state runners-up from Paxton.
Number 11, Dan Hoover. Number 20, Shane Hensway. Number 22, Jeff Heinrich. Number 23, Josh Worley. Number 30, Andy Younger. Number 32, Justin Vasquez. Number 33, Robbie Bridle. Number 42, Jacob Burgess. And number 24, Mike Hahn. All of you are welcome to receive the Red Trophy for your school. Congratulations, Paxton High School. Class D1 State runners-up. And now, to the champions. First touch to go. We have a special award just for you. Now, coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members. Introduce them one by one. Number 3, Troy Taft.
Yeah, those poor Irish fans are going to be just absolutely, their voices will be gone. I mean, last week they screamed them out for 3 straight wins for the girls tournament, and this week, 3 straight wins for the boys. 72-56, your final score. Falls City Sacred Heart victorious. Nate O'Grady leading the way with 23 points in the victorious effort. We've got plenty more coming up. 2 more state finals to come, in addition to the head coach for the runners-up from Paxton, Luke Stuckmeyer.
Jody Rhodes and Coach, you'd won 16 in a row. They just didn't have enough in the fourth quarter tonight.
No, we really didn't. We played a strong first 3 quarters of the game, and we knew that Sacred Heart was, they're a team that can explode just at any time offensively. And when they made their run, that's fine when a team makes their run. But we've got to do something defensively to shut that down, and we didn't do that. Plus, we've got to answer it offensively, too. And I thought maybe we were a little fatigued down the stretch of the late stretch of the third quarter, and then throughout most of the fourth quarter. I thought we were a little tired, and that hindered our shots a little bit and caused for some poor shooting.
You have to be pretty happy with your season, though.
Well, we really are. The last few games that we've had this year through our conference tournament and our sub-district and district tournaments, they've all been teams that are, if they're not ranked, they're close to being ranked. So we feel fortunate to just be able to get through those teams and get to the state tournament. And then, fortunately, we played well enough to get to the finals and just came up a little short.
We're going to be announcing Tanner Anderson as one of the All-Staters. He's back for you next year. Should have another great season.
Tanner's a fantastic kid, and to go along with that, a great student and a great player. And we feel lucky to have him on our team, and I think what helped us out mostly down the late stretch of the season this year was Tanner's supporting cast. They really stepped up and helped him out offensively and defensively, and really balanced out our team throughout the last part of the season.
Congratulations on a great season. Thanks a lot. We're going to send it over to John Bishop with today's final statistics.
Falls City Sacred Heart and Paxton very much even in all statistical categories except for 3 free throws. 31 attempts for Sacred Heart, and they made 21 of them. Again, Nate O'Grady leading the way with 23 points. Tanner Anderson in a losing effort for Paxton with 20. We'll meet the state champions from Falls City after this.
Falls City Sacred Heart. Joining me right now is Coach Doug Oltz. Doug, you led this team to the tournament for the first time in 8 years, and you guys make the most of it. This year really has been the Irish's year.
Yeah, it's been a great season. It's been since '91. It was really tough to get back. We had a real tough district. I think we had some teams that could have won state championships, but we just couldn't shake our district. But this year we were able to get here. I think we have a real balanced team, and they play really well together. I think it showed throughout the tournament. We had our best basketball of the season in districts and then in the state tournament.
And you guys went on quite a run at the end of the season here, stringing together, 18-plus games, something like that. Phenomenal number, but you guys coming in this, obviously, with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, these players that I have are just the smartest players. They don't make many mistakes. Paxton really hung in there with us. Last night we were able to kind of make our run in the third quarter, but it took to the fourth quarter tonight. I think going into that fourth quarter, we just knew that if we didn't bear down, we were going to be the ones that were going to walk away unhappy tonight. So we really cranked it up and played our better man-to-man defense in the fourth quarter.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations on a great game. You're just new state D1 champions, Falls City Sacred Heart. Congratulations to the Irish. We'll be back with more to talk with the team.
Next time on Austin City Limits, 2 of country music's best. Vince Gill.
Would you kindly keep it
And Martina McBride.
That's the sweetest thing that you'll ever see in the whole wide world is a happy girl.
Tonight at 11 Central Time on Nebraska Public Television.
Let me see if I understand you correctly. Madame feels that the reduction source is a little pen?
Eh oui.
I see, and Monsieur feels les œufs aux truffes are not whisked properly?
Eh oui.
So now suddenly everyone is an expert on poaching, on braising, on whisking. Is that it?
They even know how to make the little piggy.
C'est la folie, mon Dieu! Mais c'est pas possible, c'est la folie! How?
Hello! Today, I'll be making bouillabaisse, and I'll be using this big, ugly cod. I'm going to cut it up with my big knife. Into the pot it goes, and that's all there is to it.
An opportunity now to visit with the Irish, your new state D1 champions, and joining me right now is Josh Rod. You're a junior. Nevertheless, this has to feel great for the Irish and for yourself.
Yeah, well, we went out and played like best we could, and started off a little shaky. Number 00, I was having a little trouble with me. Coach just took me at halftime and told me, now's the perfect time to step your game up. Took me a while to get going, but then everyone just stepped it up and we got the job done.
Certainly did. Congratulations to you, Josh. We'll have an opportunity to meet the other teammates up here right now. Coming at us is Brian Limeron. You're a senior, so this has to be extra special. Of course, you get to wear the net and you get to take home the trophy.
Oh, yeah, we've been looking forward to this our whole lives. Up to 6th grade, we've always been the shortest team out on the court, and we've noticed ourselves as the giant killers, and we just wanted to get it done finally our last year, and we got it done.
You certainly did. Congratulations to you. Another opportunity to meet some of the other players. Keep it up. Maybe we'll see you guys back here next year. Nate O'Grady, you're a junior, so we very well could see you. You had a great game out there, 23 points. You were clicking.
Yeah, it finally feels good to get back here and win one for the Fall City. It's been 8 years since '91 or whatever, and it feels good to get a medal around our necks, and it's just been a long time. It feels great.
Congratulations, Nate O'Grady and the rest of the Fall City Sacred Heart Irish. An opportunity now to meet some other people out there. Luke Stuckmeyer standing by. Luke.
Thanks, Scott. I'm here with Mike Staub of Wendy's, and we've been talking about the Wendy's High School Heisman Award all day. Mike's here now to tell us a little bit about where some of these kids are coming from. You can nominate one of your students for next year already this month.
Yeah, one thing we really wanted to emphasize, the program's great because it has a real good cross-section throughout the state. We've got kids from obviously the bigger towns, Omaha, Lincoln, but this year, example, our 2 state finalists, one was from Greeley High School and the other one was from Gothenburg. And the 2 finalists the year before that were from Sutton and from Clark. So, you know, I really want to encourage the superintendents and the parents that, you know, don't just think because we're maybe from a smaller school that this isn't something that we can take advantage of, because we've seen great student athletes in all the different sizes of the high school programs around here. So,
thanks for stopping by tonight, Mike.
Thanks.
High School Heisman Award. We'll have more right after this break.